Welcome to the Coffee Day Show. Why is the GRA taxing jobless people? How do they intend to account for the money that will be raised from the 10% on sports betting? And is it an attempt to stop gambling or generate more revenues? Some of the questions that were asked by people when I asked them, what one question would they ask the Ghana Revenue Authority in connection with the sports betting tax? Welcome to the show. If you're following us on YouTube, remember to hit the notification bell and follow the channel so that you can get notifications when the next content comes up. My guest is a member of the Gaming Project Committee of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Mr. Spio Abedu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Before we even jump into the 10% sport tax, what exactly does the Gaming Project Committee do?
Well, our job was basically to come out with a proper tax administrative procedure for the gaming or lottery sector, because it had had some challenges over the years. And so this team was constituted around 2020, 2021 to come out with the best way to tax that sector, which will not create challenges as the previous acts were posing to them.
Okay.
So basically to bring out with a very simplified and looking at best practice across the world, and then we amend the law to suit that way so that the taxes will be easily collectible and paid to government. And we think that it was the best way to do that for that sector, because that sector has been having challenges over the years.
What kind of challenges were you talking about?
Well, the manner in which the law was couched, they were supposed to pay VAT, the punters were supposed to pay VAT on the bet.
Those who bet.
So, yes, so it was difficult to collect and then pay the tax all was doing. So we consulted the gaming operators and a few of the punters, and then we realized that there was the need to amend the law. They made input, GRA made inputs, the Ministry of Finance took it to Parliament, and Parliament looked at it and passed it. So we consulted the stakeholders, who are the gaming operators and a few of the punters.
Who is affected by this 10% tax on lottery winnings?
It affects basically the punters, I mean those who play, or the bettors.
Any form of lottery game in Ghana?
Yes, if you play national lottery, which is Lotto, sports betting, casino, interactive game, remote interactive game, and even if there are those who do promo, yeah, if you know, on the Caritas lottery platform, all those who do that, it affects such people. Yes.
There's a question about the 10%. How did you arrive at that number?
Well, that was the decision of the Ministry of Finance and Parliament. Yes. They, I believe, upon consultation and research, they thought that that was the best, because you were scrapping other taxes. You need to get something that will commensurate with what you have let go. So I think based on their research and their decision, they came out with a 10%. So that is Parliament and the Ministry of Finance.
Would you have liked to have more?
We made inputs and then we left it for them, and they think that's the best.
Okay. I'm just curious, so what did you want? How much did you want?
That is what the law says, and that is what we want to do.
But you wanted more than 10?
Oh, no. This is what we want.
This is what we have now?
Yes.
Okay. We are 8 days into the administration of this new tax. It came into the system on the 15th of August. 15th, Today is the 23rd.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Well, we are still monitoring. It's coming, but it's trickling in because we saw that there are a few violators, so we are addressing those issues. So for some operators, they were not able to bet because there were challenges, and we said that, I think that a month ago or a few weeks ago, there was a stakeholder, about 2 months ago, yes, let me put it right, that if this taxes starts operation, GRA and the gaming committee, the gaming commission was not going to tolerate any operator who does not go by the law. So I think that as of now, there were few ones who were were not following, so they are being dealt with. So when some of the punters go to certain place, they may not be able to bear. But we are resolving that issue. But I can tell you that it is trickling in. And it will be reported next month, based on the law.
Okay, so explain how it works. So from August 15th, what changed between August 14th and August 15th for a punter?
Yeah, for a punter.
On the 14th, what would a punter have done?
Yeah, on the 14th, I think the commissioner sent a notice ahead. We started in April giving out notification that the tax was coming. In fact, there were two taxes, one for the operators and then the punters. The operators' own is the gross gaming revenue tax, which started on the 1st of May. In that announcement, the GRA told the public that following from 1st May, they were going, the operators were going to pay a GGR tax. And then
and how much was that, the amount?
That was 20% on the operators. But, you know, the 10% withholding tax was suspended because the people had to tweak their system. They need to modify the system that charges it. So it was postponed to 1st June. For the casinos, they were supposed to start the 10% withholding tax from 1st June. But the sports betting and the others, because of certain system issues, they were given 15th August. So it's not like it started on the 15th August. For the casino and route operators, it was 1st June that they were supposed to start charging. But for the sports betting and the others, it was 15th August. So for a punter, before 14th, well, when you win, you will not be taxed. But on the 15th, when you win, that is where the gross winning, 10% will be withheld and paid to the Commissioner General. And this tax will be accounted for on the 15th of September.
So by 15th of September, you know how much tax you have collected.
Collected.
But you have a dashboard where you can see the money coming in?
Yeah, we have some that we look at it. So, but you won't get a full picture.
No, you won't.
You won't get a full picture until the period comes to an end. Then you can know what has come in. Like I told you, some of them are having challenges with the system. So they are still working on it.
Okay. There was a concern that this gross gaming revenue tax forced some betting companies to either relocate or shut down. Is that true?
No, nobody has relocated. Nobody has shut down. What we said was that 2 months ago communique I told you about, we met the stakeholders and we said, they were told that if you are a betting company and the time was due and you realize that maybe 15th, you realize that maybe a week to the time, you have not still finished tweaking your system. On the 14th, shut down until you have set up the system. So some are doing that. So it's not like a shutdown to move out of the jurisdiction. It's a shutdown to better the system so you can charge.
Okay.
Yes.
So now with the sports bettors, and a lot of them are angry with the Ghana Revenue Authority. They don't understand why the authority should be taking money out of their pockets. What do you tell an angry sports bettor right now?
The angry sports bettor should know that, this taxing of winnings was in the law since 2015. It was there. In fact, at that time, it was kind of graduated. When you win for a year of assessment, when I say your income for a year, if it's from lottery winnings, you deduct about 2,592 from it. And then the rest, if it exceeds 2,592, we withhold tax 5% on it. In that same vein, the law on VAT also placed VAT on the punter when he was betting. So you see, there was a double something over there. So that is why we realized that, well, to have such, challenge on the punter, we need to come up with something simplified and easy for the punter to go. And that is why that thing was scrapped. So the VAT was scrapped, and that law too was scrapped earlier on. In fact, it was scrapped. But you know, when it was scrapped, we have moved on, and we said that now we are giving you just one withholding tax.
Which is 10%.
Yes, 10%. And it is coming from an idea that if you look at a section of our law, Act 896, 115, there are certain activities that are taxable. Withholding taxes must be withheld from such activities. Lottery winnings are part of it. And the concept is that if you invest in any entity and they pay you dividend, there is a dividend tax we withhold. But you see, in any investment, the withholding tax is not on the principal amount which you invested. It is the earnings that you get on the investment that is taxed.
So, for example, if I put in 10,000 CDs,
yes,
and I won 50,000,
yes,
what are you taxing me on?
So we're saying that is an investment. In fact, lottery and betting is an investment.
Okay.
Because you are risking money into a venture.
All right. So the people can call themselves investors.
You know,
The sports guys call
it's
themselves
an
investors.
investment.
So they're investments.
Yes.
So I invest 10,000.
Yes, you
I
invest
win
10,000.
50,000.
You win 50,000.
What are you taxing me on?
Formerly, we would have taxed all the 50,000. But we said, okay, no, you have gained from the 10,000 is 40,000. So it is the 40,000 that the law says you should pay.
So 4,000 out of that 40,000
Yes.
will go to the Ghana government.
Yes, is the tax. So it's not the whole bulk. That is one of the good news, other than the first.
Okay.
Where you'll be taxed, and there would have been VAT too on your bet. But we have taken all that for the Panther.
So if I put in 10,000 and won nothing, what happens to my 10,000?
Yes, because you put in 10,000 and you want nothing, the difference is zero. So you will not pay any tax.
Okay. These are a couple of questions from social media. How will the money be used?
Oh, the money will be used based on government policy. You know, our mandate in GRA is to collect the taxes and then put it in the consolidated fund, which has many uses. So we cannot find out the taxpayer, you assess, you collect, and you pay into the fund.
How much money do you intend to collect this year? What's the target?
The target for this game?
Yes.
We're looking at something 400 million thereabout, but it's not a concretized figure because if we had, initially, if it didn't start from the beginning of the year, so we know there will be challenge. So I cannot give you a fixed figure because a lot of things have gone in. We had to postpone the starting date several, so all those things affected. So we are not looking at a very huge thing. We are being moderate.
Okay, 400 million, which assumes that there will be a gross of winnings of 4 billion from 4 billion from which 400 million will come to government. Is that correct? That's a calculation.
Well, that's a simplified way of saying it, but it may not be. The reality is that there were other things. If you take out the stakes that brought the win and other things, you may not get the same figure you are talking about.
All right, I'm thankful for the education. I'm wondering, how big is the lottery betting business? How much money did it generate, for example, last year?
Last year, the amount that it generated, I can't give you offhand. Maybe I'll later find out and give it to you. But last year, because there were challenges, we couldn't meet the target that was given. If you look at the budget that was given, they were supposed to collect close to a billion.
Okay.
Yeah, close to a billion, but it didn't happen because we couldn't implement certain things. But I can't give you the right figure as to what they brought. I don't have it off my head, but I'll later will supply it to you if the need comes.
There's a question about how do the betting companies pay this withholding tax? The tax that is withheld from the punters' winnings.
Yes.
How do they pay?
By law, the law says that the operators are the withholding agents for the Commissioner General, which means that they are bound by law that if somebody wins and they are paying him, they withhold the tax, put it together at the end of the month, the following month, 15th of that month.
Okay.
There is a return, and when we talk about returns and information about the taxpayer and about the tax. So they fill the return, put all the information, and then on the 15th of the new month, they pay to the Ghana Revenue Authority.
So the countdown is on now for September 15th.
Yes, that is for the on the account on behalf of the Panthers.
Yes.
When it comes to they themselves, they pay the gross gaming revenue. They are also to account for it on the same 15th.
What is gross gaming revenue?
Gross gaming revenue by law, it says that if anybody is in the business of lottery operation, his chargeable income, that is his income that is subject to tax, is the gross gaming revenue, which is the total stakes that he receives, less the payouts
for winners.
Yes. So what happens, or the difference, is his gross gaming revenue, and by law he's supposed to pay 20%.
So if the entire betting industry earned, let's say, 5 million and paid out 500,000 somewhere, the difference of that is the gross gaming revenue on which there is a percentage.
Yes.
Okay. All right. There's another question here. Why are you taxing jobless people with this 10% sport betting tax?
I don't think the description is right, but
this was somebody's question.
Yeah,
I'm just giving it to you.
And if you see, by law of our country, anybody who earns income must pay something to help the tax basket. So once you are risking money into lottery, by law it is an investment you are making. And so we are trying to say that when you earn something on that investment, pay something small into the kitty. Well, we don't see them. As for that question, jobless, I can't sit here and see who is jobless and who is not jobless. I can't answer that question. But what I'm saying, when your activity falls in that category, it's an investment you are doing through lottery. And when you earn something, the difference, we take something off it.
Is this new tax an attempt to stop gambling or to generate revenue?
Well, it's basically to generate revenue. Like I told, this thing started way back. It is not something that is new. It is only this year that we realize that where we have reached, we can implement it. So it is also to expand the tax net, because there are other people who are outside the bracket, and we think that that is a sector that must also contribute its fair share to the tax basket.
When you're looking at the online, the casinos, the lotto, the promos, which is the biggest, which brings you the biggest chunk of your revenue? Which of these sectors?
Well, you have segregated the casinos, the sports betting, and all that. Oh, the one that brings, I haven't done the figures. You know, we in terms of this tax, we are still gathering data.
Yes. But previously, I mean, where were you getting most of your money from before this tax?
This tax never existed. The gross gaming revenue. Previously, they were all paying corporate taxes. The entities were paying corporate taxes. Yes, so that is where their corporate taxes were part of the general corporate taxes that they were paying. They were also paying PAYE. But in terms of this tax, we are now going to gather the data, and they will tell you that sports betting of this new tax, this is the percentage they are contributing. Casinos, this is what they are contributing. So we are still gathering the data as far as this new tax is coming.
In terms of the casinos and jackpot machines, I mean, what's the state of play in Ghana now? How many of these establishments do you have in Ghana?
Well, currently the total betting companies or operators in this country, they are about 78 according to the Gaming Commission, and about 33, 34 about sports betting. And then we have route operation and casinos. Casinos.
What are the route operations?
Those who use some of the machines that you put in chips.
Okay.
And then you play, and then when you win, it comes like the jackpot machine. Those ones. Their number, I don't have it off head, but they will certainly not be more than 30. Yeah.
What are the challenges in raising revenue from this sector of the economy, the gaming sector?
Yeah, the challenges were with the law, because they were having problem with the law, so it wasn't making them compliant. So what we did was that we engaged them. The law itself has some challenge. If you look at best industrial practice, we had to engage them. You're finding it difficult to withhold the tax on, or take the VAT from the bets. So some were paying it by themselves, absorbing, and they were not accounting for it properly. So that's a challenge. So we had to engage them to let them understand that, well, based on the information that we get, we need to update or we need to amend the law to help them do it well. So the law itself has a practical challenge, that's a major thing. And because it had a major challenge, it was not making compliance very easy for them. So that was also a challenge. So if he thinks that he wasn't able to administer the law very well, then he would just not deduct the appropriate taxes and bring them. So these were two issues we had to look at, and we have to amend the law for them.
Would you say that the preponderance of a lot of these online betting companies will make it easier for you to get your money?
Well, in a way, yes. You see, in the future is that we're trying to develop a system that we will monitor all of them, especially the online ones. And it is coming. And when that thing comes, it will help us to see the full ecosystem of the online activities. Then we will be able to have a fair idea of what is really going on. And if we need to talk to them or engage more, then we'll know about that. But currently, the system is still being set up. So when you ask me that about a full view of the online, I will not sit here to say that we have it. We are still developing the system. And so we're saying that when the system comes, we'll have a fair view of the whole ecosystem, and then we take it from there.
How do you track the lotto operators? I mean, the analog people who may not be so easy to identify.
Yes. You know, the lotto operators are being regulated by the National Lottery Authority. So we are working with them. They are part of our stakeholders. And so they are to monitor them. They are to make sure they register. When it comes to even sports betting, the Gaming Commission regulates them. So we are dealing with all these two stakeholders because we believe that they have the capacity to regulate them for us to see visibility about them and then apply the tax law. So we are hoping that those analog people, the NLA will still regulate them, because when you are analog, it still doesn't change the law. It says that when the person comes to stake, and then there is a draw, and then there is a win, and you are paying the person. If he stake 100 cedis and he won 1,000 cedis, that entity, and remind you, those analog people the lotto agents, they work for the entities that have been registered with NLA. So obviously, when somebody wins and it comes to that agent, the agent will take him to his boss, which is the entity, to pay, because the agent will not pay. He will resort to the boss, whom we believe is regulated by the NLA. So when they come, when that entity is paying that lotto staker, he will just deduct his stake from it and withhold the 10% for us. So whether you are analog, the law can still be applied. But I wouldn't sit here to say that it will be that easy. The NLA must locate such people for us to now go on our compliance check to see whether they are doing it.
So these lotto doctors in the kiosks who we've known from ages past.
Yeah, lotto doctor, he is a forecaster.
Okay.
He is not.
Yes, but he'll give a tip And then when somebody wins,
of course,
that person is affected.
Of course.
Those people operating in the queue.
Based on the 2 months ago information we gave out to them, some were had to be blocked. The law, and we come and check on you. When we see that even the appropriate taxes have not been deducted, we work out, because once we know we'll get your data, we can work out how much you shouldn't, how much you did not bring to GRA. So we work it out, and then you pay with interest and penalty.
And like you said, some people have fell foul of the law.
Yes.
Okay.
And they were dealt with. So they have to regularize until they come back.
How much have you raised so far?
Oh, like I told you, I can't give you offhand. Even as we sit here, things may be happening. So I can't sit here and tell you that this amount has been raised or that amount has been raised. Let's let the system, at the end of the period, I believe GRA will tell Ghanaians how much has.
Can we expect an accounting by the first month? You say, oh, after month 1, this is what we earned?
Oh, yeah. I believe that the Commissioner General will say something, or the Commissioner will say something after.
So, I mean, I'm sure you made projections good.
Yes. Yeah. Looking good, but it could get better as more and more are coming on. People are still setting up. I told you there were some people who had to shut themselves. They shut by themselves because they were not ready. When they get ready, all such ones will come on board, legit, and then it will come to add to the figure. So it will get better. Yes.
Do you reckon that betting behavior will diminish, will change as a result of this tax?
Well, you know, this thing, it has some addictive characteristics. That is why I think that when they even do the advert by law, they are to say that it can be addictive and you must be 18 before you can go into that investment. So as for that behavior, well, the tax may not necessarily have a wait and see attitude. They want to wait and see what will happen to maybe in the event that maybe would there be any change, because they've heard that people are clamoring against it. But so it is with any new tax. So, well, there could be some changes if people adopt the wait and see attitude, yes. But I cannot tell you the overall behavioral tendencies of the Panthers, yes, for now. Yes.
Would it be fair to say that the GRA is making money off the addictions of Ghanaians?
Well, no, because by law, I told you that it sees it as an investment. If you put money in any bank, you invest in any instrument, do you call that an addiction? It may be some form of addiction, but the principle is the same. So it's not like you say the bank is making, or the bank is making money, or I don't know whether I should say you are making money out of your own addiction. Or it is, the tendency is you want to earn something on a certain amount. So it's the same thing. But it has its own peculiarity, which we will not go. That is not the area of the GRA.
No, you are here to tax people.
We are saying that when such activity, there is an earning on such activity, take some tax. Just as somebody will also earn dividend, we take the tax. Interest, we take the tax. It's the same principle.
If you look at your industry, what percentage of it falls under the sports side of things? Because from the feedback to this tax, is a lot of the sports guys who are really up in arms and angry. And are they a significant share of the gaming industry?
Oh, I told you about there about 30 something of the 78 that I've seen the list.
But previously, in the past, their financial contribution, what was the rough percentage in the past?
Well, you're asking the same question you asked earlier. I told you that I don't have all the figures here at hand, but they were contributing, but not to our satisfaction because of the challenges I enumerated to you. But we know the potential is there because globally, online betting has a lot of potential. So we believe the potential is there.
I know it's a government policy for this to come in, and so you're not really interested in the policy. You're interested in collecting your taxes by your mandate. But when you hear that members of the public want to go on a demonstration against the 10% tax, what is GRA's response to that?
Well, our response to it is that we want to appeal to them. They should if the issues that they don't understand, they should put it down and meet our management. GRA is always willing, our doors are open to engage them. And we believe that by the time the engagement would have ended, they would have appreciated why things are like that. Because it is not a new tax, it's only that we have changed the face a bit and made it simpler. If we were to go by the old regime, they would have paid more. Imagine VAT, you know, the VAT percentage plus the levies and other things, be crossing more than 18%. So now we're saying that 10% on your earning, not everything. So if you don't win, if you don't earn, you don't pay. In this country, if anybody doesn't earn income, he doesn't pay taxes. It's the same principle.
You talked earlier about best practices that went into the thinking behind this tax. Yeah. Where are the best practices around the world that you took inspiration from?
Oh, there are a lot of places. You know, when you go, most countries tax their entities based on the gross gaming revenue, because they know that at least you don't need to disturb the ecosystem, because you should give them that benefit that when they also suffer loss. That is why in our law we even made provision that if a company's GGR, you know, it can go negative. It may not make profit.
Definitely.
Sometimes the winners are so much that you become bankrupt.
You collapse the company.
So we have said that in cases where you had less stakes than what they won, you can carry it forward. So we realize that there are other jurisdictions who do that. They allow them. Other than you say that we will not care, well, whether you win or lose, pay the tax. No. So we look at certain jurisdictions and we realize that they make provision for that one. So we tweaked our law to run that way, that if an entity suffers so much loss in terms of panels winning more than the stakes that come in, yes, they can deduct it as the months go by until they recover.
So that they
don't
collapse.
Want to starve the ecosystem of the business of the money they are using.
And you want to keep them in business as well.
Yeah, you need to keep them, because
so they can pay taxes later on.
If the businesses collapse,
where's your job?
Yes, you will not get taxes to to collect, and because you will not get taxes, it means you will not get the needed infrastructure or whatever amenities government will provide. So jobs exist in the world to help collect taxes, to help develop a nation, and it's a cardinal principle.
What has surprised you about the reaction of Ghanaians to this tax?
Nothing surprised me, because normally any tax, including this one, when it is being introduced, people have a reaction. So we anticipated this one, that people will react, agitate, they will threaten to go on demonstration. But what we are saying is that we are willing and ready to listen to you. Come with your issues. Let's judge what we believe at the end of the whole process. We will appreciate why it is so. And if there are any concern that needed any change, GRA will listen. Our parliamentarians are there. They can make memos to them, and I believe we can take it from there. Just as we have amended the law to arrive at this position. It started from somewhere. Government listened, Parliament listened, and this thing came out. So we are always willing and ready. So we are not surprised by their behavior, but we're saying that we encourage them to bring their issues to GRA. We'll sit down and talk, and then we'll explain everything for them.
How open and accommodating is GRA to the tax-paying public?
Look at the law, where we were coming from. That shows how accommodating we are. We have talked with the stakeholders, we have changed the law, we have taken off the VAT, we have taken off the corporate tax for the operators. We say now pay GGR. We have taken the VAT on the Panthers stakes. And we are saying that when you even win, we are not taxing the whole lump. We're saying that we take out the investment you use in the staking to tax only what you have earned on that venture. And we say that is sufficient listening. And we are always willing to listen further if there are any, as the data comes in.
There are some people who feel that the burden of taxation should have stayed with the companies. Leave the punters to do their own thing. Focus your attention on the companies. First of all, they are fewer. It's easier to find them. And why stress the punters? What's your response to that?
Yeah, my response again is let's go to the law. How does the law see their activity? Well, the law sees that it's an investment that they are making. The law also sees that there is earning in that sector. If they want the how do you call it, the operators to pay and leave them alone, well, they can make a case. If Parliament didn't think so. Parliament thinks that they should pay something. Some are earning some income. If a worker who is earning something somewhere that is not much in a month is paying something to support the tax revenue in this country. If somebody is also doing investment in the lottery sector, why should he not also contribute a little to the tax basket? So that is where it is. So we're saying that, please, punters, once you are earning something, contribute a little to support the revenue of this country. When it comes to other things, they have other issues. They can make a memo. They can come together and make a memo to Parliament saying that Parliament will want you to look at it. They can route it to the Ministry of Finance or GRA if they think that the operator should bear that tax. That one, we are not the ones to decide.
It's the law that determines that.
It's the law. So if they think they can make a case to the minister that, well, they think that the operators can bear that tax, fine. But I cannot sit here and say that you should let the punters bear. If you do that, that's against the law. The law says if the punter plays and he earns something, let him withhold the tax on his earnings for now. So that is the law. So it's just an appeal. And we're saying that we will take out your investment, and the difference is what we are taxing as your contribution to the economy, as any other person who earns income in any field.
The punters also want to know, how will the money be accounted for?
I have explained to you that by law, the Commissioner General has given them on the 15th of the month following the month through which the transaction happened. So, for example, in August, all the August transaction, when September 15 comes, the operator must file the return
and send it to you.
And then send it. Then we will know that this is how he would have accounted for how much he took or he withheld from the punters.
Probably the question is, who is responsible for announcing that this is how much we've made in August, this is how much we've made in September? Is it part of your mandate as well to announce to Ghanaians?
Occasionally, the commissioner or the commissioner general, they will have press conferences to tell the public about what has happened so far with new tax policies. So when the commissioner general or the commissioner feels that there's the need to come and brief the public on what has come in so far, I think they will do it. But I cannot promise you that here. It lies in their bosom to do that when the need arises. But obviously, GRA will give information on this tax.
Somebody also wants to know, is this the beginning of, will the 10% probably rise in the future? Is this like a test period, and then before we know, they are taxing 20%, 30%?
Maybe they shouldn't think about only rise. It can also fall.
Like e-levy?
Well, yes. So that idea, whether it will rise or fall, doesn't lie with me. When the data filters in and over a period, and we're able to look at it and do our analysis, and with, like I said, people are saying that, well, it is high, it is whatever. We look at all the situation, and when the need comes that the law must be amended upward or downward, it will be done. But it's based on data. We need the data.
all around the world, people don't like to pay taxes.
Of course.
But I am sure as the GRA would network with other tax collecting bodies around the world, there must be good best practices of how populations have been made to be more willing to pay taxes. Where are you getting good examples from that Ghana could apply with respect to taxes?
Well, most of the there are some of the countries you have to file the return on your winnings, you know, including all your incomes. And there are some, when you file, you have to deduct, you have to add all other incomes. And then you look at all your costs, and then they work out the tax. But we have chosen an easy, a simplified way. We're saying that when you win and the withholding tax is done, it is a final tax, which means that it will not be brought to bear against you. It will not be brought to bear in accounting for your overall taxes again, so that the taxpayer doesn't need to file a return to declare that winning he has done.
So assuming I put in 10,000, I won 50,000,
Yeah.
GRA will tax me on the 40,000,
Yes.
which is my winnings.
Yes.
And they'll take, so 4,000 of that will go to the Ghana government.
Yes.
I'm free to enjoy my winnings. I don't have to, do I have to declare it somewhere that this is what I won?
It's a final tax you paid, and that is it.
So if I'm doing my accounts, my records, what I'll put that in as what?
If you are doing your records, you cannot bring that tax to account again, because the taxes have already been withheld and it is a final tax. So you didn't pay it on account pending when you file all your return. This one is a one-off system, which means that when the taxes were withheld, or when the taxes were withheld in your favor, that ends it. When you are filing your
returns,
you cannot bring it to bear again.
Would I report that as income?
No, you cannot, because the taxes have been paid already.
So how would I report that 36,000 that will remain out of my 40,000 winnings?
Well, you will report it and not as other income.
Okay.
Yeah, but you will report it as part of the revenue you have
I've generated.
Yes, but when it comes to the tax computation,
there will be no tax element.
It will not be subjected to tax again.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear on that. So it will just be reported as revenue.
Yeah, it will just be reported as something, so you disclose it. But when it comes to the computation, because it's a final tax, it will not affect you tax-wise when it comes to that filing.
How would the company from with whom I stake the bet report?
Oh, you know, for the company, your stake would have been part of his GG, his stakes over there. And then because he paid you, it will be part of what the payout that he did. So if he wants to calculate his gross gaming revenue, the total stake, which includes yours, less the payout, which also includes yours,
mine,
would have been catered for over there.
Okay.
So for him, that will be revenue in terms of the stake, but it would have been a loss to him,
of course,
because he was paying out more he got.
Exactly.
So for him, you being assuming that you are the only Panther, it means he received 10,000 stake, and he's paying what?
For 40,000 to me.
So he's even lost.
Yes.
But because the ecosystem has all other people
who will not win anything, so they will take care.
So there will be a net effect, which will be his GGR to come and pay. So he is also being affected over there.
Yes. Okay. And then with the money that is withheld, say, from my winnings,
yes,
how is he's supposed to keep it in a special account and then transfer? Or how does he make sure that it doesn't get mixed with his money? Because it's not his money.
Yes, he's supposed to keep it in a certain account, which he can term as withholding
tax account
or something.
Okay.
Withholding gross winning brings them to GRA. That's all.
All right.
So that one, they know their own this thing. What we are saying is that make sure you don't cheat the system, because we will know how much you're paying, and then we will know how much you are withholding. So You just make sure that that account is the right, and if it is system-based, it will compute it correctly.
So in this system, the punter, the staker, the bettor cannot cheat the system.
No, he cannot cheat
cannot,
the system.
yeah.
When he wins and they are paying him, the system will deduct the tax
Yes.
less his
Yeah.
bet.
So actually, the responsibility now is heavy. It falls more heavier
On
the company.
Yeah, on
the companies have to be
That
more
is why
responsible.
that is why we ask them to change their system, like to program it to.
What does it entail? Some software changes?
Oh yeah, a little modifications and other things.
At whose cost?
At their cost. At their cost, because we have engaged them over some months now. So they were just supposed to tweak it, modify it so that it will display that there is a tax on the winnings.
Okay.
That's what they were supposed to do. So the charge will be on the net.
As we're wrapping up this conversation, what would you say to the gaming ecosystem? I mean, all the stakeholders, the punters, the companies, the regulators, general public. What are your words to them?
Well, my words to them is...
Let's start with the punters first.
Well, for the punters...
They're the ones who are angry with you.
We appreciate your disagreements.
They don't appreciate the tax, though.
Yeah, they don't appreciate, but I believe that maybe it is something that has come. It used to be more. If we were to go by the old regime, they would have suffered more. But we think that because it's a new, they should tolerate it. If they have issues, we are pleading with them, they should fall on the GRA with their concerns. We are willing and ready to listen to them. But we're also saying that that activity is also to help the economy, as other people in other sectors, teaching, banking, whatever. Everybody is contributing their fair share. We're saying that they should appreciate that this is a little token that they can also use to help. And we are promising that if they bring any issue, we'll be willing and ready to listen to them. And if then there will be any changes at the Ministry and Parliament, I believe Parliament will listen to them. So they should appreciate this thing that they are helping to contribute to the to increase revenue of this country, and I believe it will be put to proper use for them to see. So that's the encouragement I'll give onto them.
And to the companies?
And we are also saying that if you're a punter and your deduction, you feel that it is not right, you can contact GRA.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Or you can contact your entity, the operator, that you are not being, you are not being charged properly. So
and it's a simple calculation, right? What you staked, what you won minus what you staked.
Yes.
And 10% of that, the resulting figure, is what you to be taken out.
Yes.
Of
so if you have any issues, see your operator. If you don't get any feedback, see GRA.
Is there a hotline for GRA?
Yeah, our normal GRA hotline.
Okay.
Yes, you can go on our website, you will see it. And then we will respond to you appropriately. So GRA is welcome. Punters, approach us, bring your issues. We are willing and ready to listen.
Any message for the companies who are withholding the taxes? Any message for the companies?
Yes, for them, we are saying that they are paying the GGR and they are also withholding. We're saying that, please, you are stakeholders. GASBO, I think Ghana Sports Betting Association people, and then the GOAG, I think they are the casino and people, the association. Yeah. We are encouraging all of them that they should make sure that they follow the law. If there are any issues, they know where to send it. We have been meeting them and we have been talking.
Is GASBO angry with you?
Oh, no.
No?
No, because they are the sports betting operators. They are friends, they are stakeholders. In fact, they are even also educating their members and some of the punters about the intricacies of some of these things.
Do the punters have an association?
I don't know about that.
Well, if they had one, you would have known. You would have known.
Yeah, I don't know, but I heard something on social media which I don't want to, go along that path. But I'm saying there exists any punters association. They should put their memo together to the Commissioner General. Okay. It will be attended to.
Right.
So for the operators, we are only telling them that they should follow the law. They should tweak their system. If they have any issues, they should fall on the GRA. They know what to do. We'll help them.
How about the regulators? The National Lottery
and the Gaming commission.
Yes.
Yes, we know that they are doing their job. What we will encourage them is that those that are not regulated, those that have not registered with them, I believe that they have measures to go around to bring them to regulation. So we are encouraging them to increase their membership by looking out for those who are not registered and then bringing them under regulation. That is the NLA and then the Gaming Commission.
Is there anything you want to say finally before I let you
Well,
go?
finally, I'm saying that we should all embrace this tax because government had make a lot of sacrifice, scrap VAT, scrap corporate tax for the operators, and then bring in GGR, scrap VAT on the Panther who hitherto was paying VAT on his bet, and we are saying that now you just pay the tax on the winning. If you don't win,
you don't pay.
And so we are telling everybody that this is what you can also contribute to help the country expand its tax net. But if you have any issues, approach GRA and we'll sort it out with you.
It sounds like a slogan or a jingle. If you don't win, you don't pay. But people go into betting to win. So if they win, they must pay. You know, so?
Of course. That is how the law.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
All right.
Yes.
I really want to thank you for opening up and telling us the ins and outs of this new tax. And I'm pretty sure that the education has gone down very, very well.
And we intend to do more of the education.
We are grateful.
Yes.
Mr. Spio Abedu is a member of the Gaming Project Committee at the Ghana Revenue Authority, talking about that 10% tax that is going to be withheld from winnings. Remember, it's your winnings. It's the winnings that the 10% tax will be withheld by the operators and paid at the 15th of the next month to the government of Ghana. If you want to know how the money is going to be used, watch out for an interview with the finance minister, and he will tell us exactly how that money will be used. I see Mr. Abedu nodding from the corner of my eye. You've been watching the Coffee Day Show. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, you want to subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell so that you can get alerts for new content. Shout out to our Facebook people as well. And thank you for watching. Till we meet again some other time, God bless.